Looking like a sensational Melbourne morning today. A bit better than yesterday. Yesterday was really, really windy. Even right, from first thing in the morning it was blowing a gale, but it just got worse from there on in. Today's supposed to be a lot more subdued, shall we say, from a wind perspective. I don't know what the temperature's going to be, but it's looking pretty damn good so far. So I'm down by the Maribyrnong River at a spot that right next to Flemington Racecourse, which is where the Melbourne Cup is held once a year apparently. Pretty sure they do other races as well at other times of the year, but hey. Didn't do any videoing yesterday. I was basically just locked down doing a bunch of editing because I had to catch up on the last few days of travelling as I drove down from the south coast. As far as today's concerned, I'm thinking of going for a bike ride, surprise, surprise. Not a mountain bike ride, probably just a bit of a suburban type ride. So, and then later this afternoon I'm meeting up with my son again. Who is also meeting up with a bunch of his friends that also have drones, and we're all going to go and try and get some sunset drone footage, so let's see how that goes as well. Pretty popular spot this for people to come fishing down on the river. Also every morning there's runners and cyclists and whatever else doing their thing. Popular spot for trucks to come and turn around. I drive down a little bit closer to Williamstown. I could ride from here because I think there's sort of trails or bike paths and things that go all the way down to the bay, but it's like 5k's of just going through the suburbs. Not very appealing, so I'll go somewhere nice and then I can potentially drive a little bit further along the actual scenic. Retracing my steps back to the van. Man, it's a bit of a slog now, the wind's whipped up and it's headwind all the way. There we go. Survived. It's like approaching 4 o'clock. I haven't budged all afternoon. Well, I have. No, that's not true. I was parked over there. I moved under the tree. So I'm sitting sort of Spotswood, basically. This is the Westgate Bridge. It goes over into Melbourne. This is the bike path I was riding on. And just over the top of the hill there is the channel that runs out to the ocean. Or to the bay, anyway. So engrossed watching it from the drone, I didn't even notice it come past me. Anyway. It's pretty cool. It's awesome to be able to get so close to them and watch them come by. It's quite crazy. Dear, what an entertaining evening. So as I said, I was heading with my son and a bunch of his friends into a random park to fly drones. It was all getting a little bit silly, basically. Poor little Neo, my little drone, copped a bit of a beating and was regularly getting bullied by the other bigger drones. It was suggested that maybe I should lock the Neo onto me and then run around in the park and they can chase the Neo while the Neo's chasing me. But then someone came up with the idea, why don't I get my bike out and lock the Neo onto me while I'm riding my bike and then all the other drones can chase. Anyway, silliness ensued. I did go up as the sun was going down and take a bit of a shot of the Melbourne skyline and the sunset. Then I took my son's drone up, so this is a good comparison. I know lots of people have been interested in my drone, but if you can look at the difference between those two pictures. What Kurt has is the Mini 3 drone, and it's not significantly more expensive than the Neo package that I've got, although it comes with less stuff. So I think it's probably about $200 more to get the remote and the drone over what I've got for the Neo. But you only get one battery with that, I think. But yeah, the quality is quite a bit better on that one, and it's a lot more stable as well. That was something I noticed when I took it up, that wasn't getting buffeted about by the wind, and the picture was a lot better quality. Well, a lot more stable because it's got a 3-axis gimbal rather than just a 2-axis gimbal that the Neo has. So anyway, there you go, fascinating stuff. So as I've said before, sleeping in vehicles in Victoria in general, if you look at all the local council websites, they usually say that it's only allowable if you have a permit, which of course, you know, they're not going to give you a permit, so it will be a case of, well, technically you're not supposed to sleep in vehicles. So of course I didn't sleep in my vehicle last night, and the story I'm about to recount to you would be a hypothetical situation of what could possibly go wrong if you were sleeping in a vehicle. So say for example you returned to your vehicle at about 10:30 at night and decided to sleep in a suburban street, and said suburban street ends up having a unusually busy night, and groups of people just keep on walking past, and of course, you know, they're just doing their thing. They're just, you know, walking around talking and driving remote control cars, for example, and this just goes on, and by about 12:30 it's like there's no future in staying here, so I decided to relocate, come back to a spot where we've stayed before, and of course you get there and you're sort of hyped up because you've just driven like 15 minutes to get to this alternate location, and just sort of fading off to sleep by about 2 a.m. and a truck pulls in, for goodness sake. Like, what the hell's a truck doing driving around at 2 a.m? Anyway, yeah, eventually if you were to get to sleep, even though you don't have a permit, and we're trying to do such a thing, and then about bloody 6 a.m, another truck. Yeah, in theory. So yeah, of course. So this is only theoretical, and you know, I wouldn't ever sleep in my vehicle in a spot without a permit. So yeah, that would be a pretty bad scenario, and would leave you feeling pretty tired the following day if that sort of thing happened to you. Anyway, so I've come. Oh, geez, look out! It's out of control. Bloody hell! That's how bad things are. So unco. Anyway, I came back down to the Maribyrnong River again this morning. Not that I slept here, and just going to have breakfast and stuff. It's actually not a bad spot, but yeah, there is a main road right next to it, so it's pretty noisy from that as well. It's actually quite warm too. It's yesterday was cold in the morning, but it was a warm night last night. On the move for no real reason. I'm just heading back into Docklands again because, like, underneath the Balti Bridge there's 3 hours free parking, so that will do for a little bit longer. The Maribyrnong River there, sitting there quite happily, but some people in the Flemington Racecourse started cutting laps around the outside road, and it was just putting clouds of dust over the top of where I was parked, so I thought, nah, don't need that. So I'm moving. I was going through all the drone footage from last night, and hence why I put the little warning up on the bottom of the video there. Even I started to feel sick after watching it for a few minutes. Found myself a tap. My life of crime. I'm so gangster. I always find it funny how you know, people, when they're saying that van lifers shouldn't be living on the streets for free, carry on about us stealing water and all this sort of business. I wonder if they actually realise how much a tank load of water costs. So let's do the math. So conveniently, we've got a water meter here. So we're on 172. It was on 092, so I've taken 80 litres. So according to the Valley fees and charges, what have we got there? First, up to 440 litres is $2.56 a day. So just so I don't have to go too much in the way of heavy maths, let's just round my usage up to 100 litres. $2.56 per 1,000 litres. I've just taken 25.6 cents worth. And that for me is 4 days worth of water, so yeah, that's pretty consistent for me. 20 litres a day is pretty much what I use. That's including showers. Water charges do vary around the country, so obviously in some councils it will be costing the ratepayers more, but I've never seen any more than $4 per 1,000 litres, so that's a 40-cent fill up that I would do. And I do that probably every 4 days, so let's say, what's that, 100 times a year. So yeah, $40 a year. I must say it was really refreshing though up on the south coast to see all those councils that actually had water points where you could go and get it on a nice little concrete pad on the side of the road that was relatively level and everything. You know, it was all set up for, you know, people that are travelling around to come and enjoy the area and be able to easily access water without having to feel awkward going into parks and things. Maybe over time more and more councils will do a similar thing. I doubt they ever will in the cities, but it'd be nice. I'm doing this again, just a quick one. This is new. This was closed last time I was here. It's a new smoking spot, obviously very popular. This is the little penguin viewing area. Come down here once before later at night and seen all the penguins getting around. Apparently it closes at 6 PM though, so that's not very useful for seeing penguins. Righto. Friday morning in an undisclosed location, as always, around the Melbourne area. Just having a bit of a look at where I am. Came in here in the dark. I did kind of scope this place out yesterday during the day. It was absolutely packed with cars. This is a spot that my son recommended to me that might be a suitable place for doing stuff that you probably shouldn't do in Melbourne, such as sleeping in a vehicle? No, I didn't sleep in a vehicle, that's right. Anyway, beginning my daily move around as always. Look, I could stay here where I am. There's a few little downsides. The car park that I'm in is dirt, and as it fills up, people are just racing by and throwing dirt and dust everywhere, so not too pleasant if I'm going to sit here with the door open. It's supposed to be 30 degrees today, which I will be sitting with the door open. A real quick walk, have a look around this spot, and then I'll lock myself down and get on to whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. So again, we're just near the Maribyrnong River again. Flemington Racecourse, where I've been a few other times, is kind of down that way, a fair way. Just sort of looking back towards the car park. High Point Shopping Centre is kind of over the hill there, so if you've got a van, you could park here. It's okay clearance getting in. There are a few low branches, but not too bad. Anything bigger than a short van like mine, if you're over 6 metres, you're probably not going to get in this car park, so not too crash hot for that. What have we got here? some random artworks and a little wetland type area. It's quite nice and quite an epic playground. This is pretty cool. So I guess given that the place is called Pipemakers, this must have something to do with an old pipe making facility. With a funny little garden. Not the neatest anymore, but I'm guessing it was quite nice at some point. Pipemakers Garden, there you go. Early settlers garden. I don't know. I'm not a big reader, so yeah, I can just look at the stuff and that'll do me. Factory ruins, perhaps. A few little chutes and stuff. I guess they probably used to bring trucks up here and dump the raw materials in to go into the production process for pipes. A couple of old bluestone warehouse type buildings. It's one of the major differences between the old buildings when you compare Sydney to Melbourne. You know, obviously everything around Sydney's made out of Sydney sandstone. All around Melbourne everything's kind of more bluestone. And then a short distance down to the river, Pipemakers Park jetty. And a big old boat sitting here. Should even be a nice shady spot if it's a hot day. Pretty quiet day today. I'm just basically still down here in Pipemakers Park. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. I went over to High Point Shopping Centre. Man, that place is huge. Like, huge. Anyway, it was interesting. So tonight I'm going to meet my son. As I said, we'll go and fly some drones again, and then probably I'm not sure what's going to happen over the next week. I'm going to go down to Geelong, visit some friends down there, and I'll be back up at Melbourne again. So I'm going to be all over the place. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this one, and I will be back soon, and hopefully we've got some new things to show you, because I know I've been here quite a few times before, and it's all the same old stuff, isn't it, really? Anyway, thanks a lot. I'll catch you later.